It's Jason on the Simpademic. Happy Thursday night. We got one more day to go this week. And, excuse me, I saw something that was posted on Anna Jorgensen's YouTube page. It's not a clip, it's just a post. And so I've taken a screenshot of that and shared it to my Twitter X page. And I think it's a very important point, a very basic but very strong point. And Anna says that where your fishing or hunting grounds for a potential partner are is extremely critical. To which, of course, I 100% agree. But in my opinion, this requires a little bit of digging and a little bit more detail. So for tonight's episode, that is what I'm going to get into. I live in Minnesota. If I told you I'm going to go fishing up north, what kind of a trip would you expect me to have? An excellent trip or a terrible trip? For those who aren't very familiar with Minnesota, up north is kind of the colloquial way of expressing traveling anywhere north of the Twin Cities metro, anywhere between here and the Canadian border. And anything in that range can be considered up north, quote unquote. And you're probably going to expect that I'm going to have a phenomenal trip. I'm going to have some great fish. It's going to be phenomenal. But you got to dig a little bit further on this one. What if I told you if I made 2 trips up there, that one of them would be excellent and everything that you imagined, and then one of them was pretty crappy? Well, this is where the details come in. No different than Anna's hunting grounds or fishing ponds. My fishing pond, in a literal sense in this case, if I'm going up north, let's say the first time I go up north, and it's actually a terrible trip, and I come back, I'm like, I had a horrible time. But after I get done telling the story, I explain that it was in a taconite tailings fishing pond on the Iron Range north of Duluth. Now, the Iron Range is an area where a lot of mining has and still sort of does take place for an ore called taconite. And taconite has tailings or kind of residual burn. When this metal is mined, the pellets are used to manufacture steel. It's a pretty important ingredient. But the tailings are the residual remnants, and those have to be disposed of somehow. Hence, taconite tailing ponds. They're dumped in these little ponds close to the mines, and a fishing trip in one of those is an absolute disaster. You're not really going to catch any fish. You might catch metal poisoning. Now, for my second trip, I went to Lake Superior, grabbed myself a boat, and went out in the middle of the lake, and did some fishing. Well, you could probably already figure out what I'm going to say. The fishing was phenomenal. And unlike that taconite pond in northern Minnesota, Lake Superior is one of the cleanest freshwater lakes in the world. It has phenomenal fishing. The biggest fish in Lake Superior is whitefish. And it's famous for its world-class whitefish. So if I go out there and I fish in the middle of the lake, I'm going to catch some pretty good fish. I'm going to be eating pretty good for about a week and a half once I bring it back down here at home. So it goes with dating pools. I'm going to also have very similar examples here. What if I told you at church, I approached at a church at one and I approached at another. At one, I got accused of false harassment charges, all because I didn't look the right way. And all because I'm not 6 feet tall. Actually, I'm not. And I'm not a 10 or $100,000 a year Chad. Once again, I'm actually not. I caused false harassment and got ran out by the staff. They didn't tell me about it at first because I'm sure they didn't want me legally taking action against them. But on the same token, if I just dug a little bit further when I started there, it would have become pretty obvious that this place values image and superficiality more than anything. And so that kind of fishing pond is like the taconite pond. It's contaminated, and it's full of women that are bad news. And a staff that will always take the side of the feminist. And as I've said before, Christianity is not immune from toxic feminism. Just like water ponds in far northern Minnesota are not immune to toxic poisoning. If I had just observed a little bit closer when I was told not to wear a certain coat of mine on a rainy day, all because it was a little weathered, because it wasn't the image they wanted me to project, they should have been my cue right then and there that was a bad fishing pole or fishing pond. Switch the picture to my present church. My campus pastor has heard all these stories. And I left there originally because I was in a small group where one of the members openly talked about being thrown out of his house by his wife and was... I can't hold this phone for long. Pretty worked out from the gym yesterday. But anywho, I digress. And so I left that church, because I had been in a situation in which we had a domestic abuser and a leader who was covering for that domestic abuser, who was not allowing me to get to the particular campus pastor out of which that group was based. However, upon my return, I found out that that particular example was an exception, and that the campus pastor of my current campus says if I run into situations like those again, either the one that happened there or the one that happened at the other place, let him know he's got my back. Exact words. This, my friends, is a good fishing pond. It's a safe one, because I know I've got protection, and it's a place where I can safely do that if I should choose. And after what happened at the last one, I've chosen not to. I don't know if that's a permanent situation. I am 53. It may be a permanent situation, but it may not be. Or I'm not actively pursuing or approaching anymore. Another example of the comparison between a good fishing pond and a bad fishing pond is the gym. Gyms can be great places to meet people. They can be great places to maybe connect. But I previously went to a YMCA here, very local to my actual town. And one of those social media influencer women was filming, trying to catch men who were just looking at her for half a second. And be able to smash them on social media, call them creeps, or maybe even level false accusation charges, harassment charges of their own. I did not look her away for even half a microsecond, because I knew what was going to happen next, the way she was filming. This, again, gyms are usually good places to meet people, but this was a bad one. It's a bad fishing pond. Now, the one that I've gone to now, is a good fishing pond. It's a healthy one. I've mentioned it on my videos before. It's called Burn Boot Camp. Anywhere in the country, if you're watching this, there may be one near you. It is a national chain. It has HIT boot camp classes with quality instructors. Of course, they don't sponsor my channel with its 60 followers. But if you're looking for a good place, not necessarily to fish, but just to get your workout on, get your sweat on, and get your body better and healthier, Burn is a great place to do it. The website is called burnbootcamp.com. If you want to look for services and information, you can even download the Burn Boot Camp app on Google Play or the App Store. Go ahead and say that Jason sent you from the Burn Boot Camp in Blaine, Minnesota. This is a good place because, first of all, filming is banned. Second of all, even if they allowed it, your ass is getting handed to you so badly by the trainers there that nobody has time to film. Nobody, if a social media attention hog were to come in there and expecting a chance to put men on the spot who are doing nothing wrong, they wouldn't have time to do it. I would expect that their first visit would be their last visit. And this is perfect for us because this is a safe place for everybody. It's a great location. Men don't go to gyms as much anymore because of these social media attention seekers. Most men work out at home, which is why Burn has got, and most gyms have an overwhelming majority of women. Mine is no different, but the men group is growing because it's safe and because it's trusting. We can go there and get a good workout in, be guided by phenomenal trainers who will correct us when we're needed and when our phone is going to hurt us. So that's a good, not necessarily fishing hole, but I mean, if you're trying to get to meet people, it's a good place to go. Like I said on a previous video, the men crowd is growing. In fact, they even recognized it. They always have you take pictures for the social media if you set a personal record or a PR. Well, they did a PR for the whole gym on one day because we had 8 men show up. So they took a picture of all of us and put us on the Facebook page. They appreciate us and they protect us. This is a good fishing hole. So this is just an addition to Anna's post. I think she's absolutely spot on and correct, but I have to mention that there's just a little bit more digging, a little bit more deeper. That's the kind of guy I am, though. I do go deeper and I go into more detail on many things. So anywho, my spiel for the night, Jason within the Simpademic. I will link Anna's channel. Go check her out. She's got a lot of great stuff out there. I appreciate a lot of things that she puts out there. She recognizes the manosphere points without necessarily getting people to feel their dopamine hit on manosphere content. Challenge some of the points while also validating what is true is what she does best. Anna advertises herself as the one who decodes modern women, so she is the decoder. Anyhow, I'm tired. It's late. Maintenance guy was working on my apartment for a while, which is why I'm posting this kind of on the late side. Jason within the Simpademic. I'll be back tomorrow night. Getting ready to kick off your weekend. Getting ready to kick off my weekend. You folks have a great night and peace out, homies.